definitely hope the same for you. If this is your first time stopping by my channel, much love to you and welcome. And to my returning subs, my growing extended beautiful family, as always, thank you so much for the love and support. It's always appreciated. So with that being said, much love to all. Namaste, love and blessings, love and light, and many blessings are definitely coming your way. And if you are comfortable enough, drop me a line or two. I would love the chance to get to know you as much as you're getting to know me. And if you feel like the video just give you good vibes that you really truly vibing off of, and you would love to share it with somebody else, please do. It's truly appreciated. Y'all, I'm bringing new content to my channel. If you've been with me for a while, you see that I drop IG short stories, as well as my own at times. My posts, my community posts, my uplifting, as well as the funny memes, just to get you a good laugh. Now, universe has guided me to do tarot card readings. If you've been with me for a while, y'all don't heard me say I don't do tarots, because I used to get really addicted to them, and I wasn't in that mind frame at that time to do that. My dear friend had bought me some tarot cards because she's like, girl, you are always on point about different things that you tell me about. There's no way of you knowing. You should be able to use that on tarot card readings. And it was like about 3 years ago. I'm like, I don't know about all that. But universe, like I told y'all before, universe is really pushing us to do things that really connect with our gifts. So they want you to be able to use your talent to the fullest. If you're doing it in a way where it's not just helping you but helping others, they want you to be able to do that. They want you to be able to step out that comfort zone, take a risk, see what other things that they have in store for you. So this is my last one for today. Is for water signs: Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So let me say, universe, what do we need to know for the water signs? There's so much change that's going on in our lives. It has really been hitting us deep. Your emotions all over the place. You get discouraged. Different things is coming on that, it makes you feel like nothing good's going on for your life. But, it's all about how you choose to see it. Everything is not what it seems. Challenges brings prosperity into your life. You have to go through the struggle to get towards the blessings. You won't really learn anything. Oh, that dog. It pushed out 3. Let me see. Pay attention to your dreams, water signs. There's so many different information that's coming into your life, and it's just like a lot of times our dreams tell us about what we're doing in our waking life. You can be going into a hotel. They'll say, okay, what kind of hotel is it? If it's a fancy one, it's just like you're in need of a vacation. It's in need of a vacation. Or, if it's something run down, it's just like all about how you see your surroundings, different things like that. Your dreams tell you a lot of things that gives you the insight on what you need to do, what you need to not do, what you need to break away from, what you need to focus on. Because there's so many different things that's going on with the transformation that's going on right now, the spiritual transition and ascension. The dreams is getting crazy. And they really want you to pay attention to those things. Somebody needs to be journaling. Well, all of us need to journal. Whether you're doing it on your phone, like you have a recording app, or they got apps on there for journals, or you even do video diaries. There are certain things, and it's just like whatever you're working on right now. And I forgot to tell in the other spread that I just did. They're telling you to keep it quiet. No matter who it is, you have to keep that to yourself, because the energy is clashing. You have to understand that you're being tested on a lot of things, and there are just certain things you have to keep to yourself. I know it's like, well, what if I'm married? If you're going through some huge changes, you never know what entity is attached to who and with whom. So they're telling you to keep your stuff private. There are certain things that you have to wait, and let it unfold before you say anything. And it's, sometimes we feel like, oh, I'm lying about certain things, or I've withheld, information. These things are trying to come into play for you, and they really want you, if you feel like you need to say something, you have to make sure it's something that can't be undone. Because there's a lot of different things that's challenging right now. And it's like, if you're moving in through the good, there's always bad that tracks behind you to make sure that good doesn't come in. So they're telling you to really, trust your intuition. Trust your intuition. You have guardian angels that are coming through. It could be family that is passed on. Especially, I'm feeling Aquarius is coming in for somebody. And this is a person that, they really they seen them, whoever this Aquarius is it's like, let me see how they say it. The Aquarius, it could be a person that is related to you, but the way y'all connect is not who they are. Like if they're an aunt or an uncle, you probably see them as a sister or a brother, or a grandmother may be seen as a mom. So whoever this person is a person that passed on, and they're there for you, but you have to be able to call out to them because they've been watching you for a while and they're trying to communicate with you. But a lot of times when we're in our head, we tend to miss that. Or, if we're going through a lot of sadness and, our guides are, trying to uplift us, if we're all in our heads in negative space, close off our heart chakra for us not to receive love. And, and they really want to give you that because you do deserve it. So your guardian angels is really, really trying to assist you. Music, there's a lot of different things that comes to us through music. It'll be times that you, like face the music, face your truth. Music can be any term. There's a lot of insight that comes to you through the most times. Universe communicates with us in every way. I know there have been times like when I was discouraged. I love this song by Creed, and it's called Children Don't Stop Dancing. It's like, a lot of times we feel like God has overlooked us, and it's telling you never give up on anything. If there's something that's urging you to push it on repeat because it wants you to really see what is the song trying to tell you. So if there's a song that is like stuck in your head, and you like when you start humming, it's like all of a sudden, why is this coming up? Because the universe is communicating to that through that music. So they're telling you, even if you feel the urge, sometimes you have to listen to it more than once to really understand what they're saying. It's just a lot of times when we're asleep spiritually, we can love songs, and sometimes out of the blue, you can listen to a certain song and it moves you to tears. And then, if you really allow, we listen to it, where we're not really hearing what is being said. So if there's a certain song that's coming up, Google it and see what the backstory is, the lyric meaning to it, and it will give you that sign on what you're looking for. But whoever it is like Aquarius that's coming in. It's like not just Aquarius, but there's Aquarius, and there's like a Pisces, but they're like, oh Jesus, it's not a bad thing, but it's a Pisces, but they got all these other different intense signs coming on with them. So whoever that is, they're seeking to help you, but they need you to be open to receive that. And a lot of times we get closed off from that. And they really want you to be able to you finish all and tell me to shuffle again. Okay. But yeah, there's so many different things that are taking place in our life. And when we're asking for that assistance, we have to be open for those assistance, because a lot of times if we want help and then we're discarding that help, you're allowing yourself to go through a repetitive situation that you really don't need to. But a lot of times we need to go through those situations to really see what we have to learn throughout ourselves. Okay, y'all got me doing this different now. Okay. Alrighty. But yeah, it's like there's so many different things that's coming to you in your dreams. Especially there's a lot of us that are seeing thunder beams. You're seeing the wolves, you're seeing the owls, the eagles. Especially if they swoop down in front of you, and it's like there's somebody who's been really seeing them, and it's like the animals has been trying to get their attention, but they're cutting it off as a coincidence, and it's not. Nothing's by accident. Nothing's coincidence. So it's trying to tell you something that you need to know. An owl is something that, the way they're saying this owl is, it's like, things that you learn in the dark. You're in the dark right now, and it's not like an evil thing. When you place a seed in the ground, you're nourishing that, you're healing, you're purging out a lot. And it just feels like whoever this person is, it could be a Cancer. For what I see is a big Cancer, because I've just seen a seed. And there's, and there are certain places where there's butterflies starting to pop out. And whoever this person is like every time they turn around, there's butterflies following them. So, okay, you want me to pick out 3 more and flip the third one over. Your prayers are trying to be answered, but it came up in reverse. Like I said, there's somebody that has been really discouraged, and a lot of us is going through that. So don't feel like universe is picking on you. Don't think I'm picking on you, because y'all see me doing cards like that. I ain't gonna pick on nobody like that. But a lot of times it's hard for us to take corrective criticism because we get so defensive. We be on the fence about it. But they're telling you, your prayers are trying to be answered, but you have to pay attention to the signs that they're trying to show you. Okay. Truth and integrity. You have to be honest with yourself. Being able to see things, everything through a child's eyes. They always say you get in touch with your inner child. Your inner child maybe need healing. For whatever it is, I feel like somebody has really, as a child, they really went through some rough stuff. They may have been out on the streets, or, the parents weren't actually type parents. You had to go find parenting from other people. And so it kind of made you tainted or jaded. So it is telling you, this happened for a reason. And a lot of times it can be very hurtful. It's like, hey, I'm supposed to be abandoned. No, this is a part of your purpose. This is a part of your purpose, because whatever you have gone through and the things that you said, you would never want other people to feel that way. That is your purpose, because whatever you're going through at this current time is going to help many others as well as yourself. It's going to take you, it's going to take you very high. But it's, the truth and integrity, you have to be honest with yourself about what you want and take retreat. If you've been avoiding healing, a lot of times we do that. I be doing too much at times, and I could be in my head and they'll tell me real quick, especially if you see koalas. Koalas is where it's telling you you need to take a break. This is that time for you to seek solitude. A lot of times we feel like we don't have enough time. We have so many different things to do. And you have to understand, if God promised you something, it's going to deliver. He's going to always deliver. But he needs you to go through this time to focus on yourself. We have to go into retreat. You have to clear your mind, clear your heart, allowing, to stay hard on your affirmations, do water meditations or water affirmations, pillow talk affirmations as well. You write down the different things that you want into your life, the different things you need to heal from, and you stick to that and you put it up under your pillow. So they're telling you, this is that time for you to really be with yourself, stop distracting yourself with other people, and focus on yourself. Because a lot of times we tend to do that when we don't want to allow ourselves to face the music. Basically, face the music. Just put it on music. But yeah, you have to go on retreat. This is that time. You're always doing stuff for other people. Now it's time for you to focus on you. And you're going to, from that retreat, you're going to get a lot of harmony into your life. It's going to allow you to see things from a whole totally different perspective that you can really trust. Because whoever this is, it's probably a Scorpio. I think majority of it is a Scorpio and a Pisces that's going through this, because there's been so many mishaps in your life. So you just feel like this is your destiny of having mishaps all the time. But a lot of times we don't realize you can't get successful until it gets to that point. And it's not saying that success can't come in, but if you're doing the work, it's going, your energy is going to speak for itself. Your hard work is going to speak for itself. So they're telling you, when you come from that clearing, there's so much insight that's coming to you right now, but a lot of things is going on. And when a lot of things is going on in our life, that's what we tend to focus on, is what is going on, instead of allowing ourselves to see this is actually therapeutic. It's like, how is it therapeutic if it's negative? Because it's showing you, where your improvement is or needs to be, because we're all evolving, but a lot of times when we got so many different things going on in our lives, we tend to think about all the negative and not seeing where this negativity can take us to. If you have love in your life and you're in a situation where, you're underappreciated, you're taken for granted, you're not being heard, you're not being seen. And this is showing you where your love for self is. When you're not entertaining that anymore and you're allowing yourself to break free, that's where the harmony is going to come in. We have to create that by ourselves. Someone's going to be having a baby. Somebody's thinking about talking about children, because there's children coming up. Somebody's been having baby dreams, or somebody who's really been working on wanting to get pregnant. This could be an issue where somebody is starting to mess up your marriage, where there's children really trying to come in at, and it's going to be, when you stop focusing on it so much, it's going to come in for you. So if you're in a marriage right now where it's like y'all really want children, children, like if you have a child that passes, away from, God forbid, on SIDS or different things like that, that's the parent's worst nightmare, is to lose a child. No parent should ever have to bury their child, but it happens that way. But a lot of times losing a child, because whoever this is not their first go around. If you've been doing IVF and stuff like that, it was probably not at the right time, and that was the reason why it didn't happen, because whoever's child has passed away, they're going to be reincarnated through that. So it's like they're getting a second chance to come back into your life. So don't give up hope. But when you allow yourself to let things flow and not force it, there's going to be a baby coming through. Probably more than one coming through. But it was at that time you and your partner weren't exactly at that right time. And what universe is saying, you were probably wanting the baby for a wrong reason. And they don't want you doing that. If you want to do that, it's something about, it's made out of love. Because sometimes people want to have children thinking that's going to mend a marriage, and that doesn't. You're going to add more, you're going to do more harm than good. So they want you and your partner to be on the same balance, but this is going to happen the natural way. If you keep forcing it, the same situation is going to happen. But when you allow it to flow the way it needs to be, and allow the universe to work for you. And I know it can be very hard at times, especially if you really want a child in your life, because it can either make a marriage or break it. But this is something like, whoever you and this partner is, you probably are having issues right now. And that was probably the main reason why you couldn't have children at that time. You had to focus on your marriage. You had to focus on yourselves. You had to grow. You had to strengthen your marriage for this to happen. Because if it didn't, it would have became a worse situation for you. So they're telling you, hey, there's blessings that's coming in your way, but you had to be able to go, you and your partner had to go through a healing process for these things to happen for you. And the baby's going to come. It's going to be right when you least expect it. And set your intentions. Like I said, you got to set your intentions. What do you want in your life? If you force it and try to manipulate it, you're only dragging it along. If this is what you're doing, and you're putting in the work, not manipulating, but putting in the work for that, then blessings are blessings is already heading your way, just because the fact is, even with your little or no faith at all, but you've been working at it, it's already put in motion for you. So they always say, set the intent on what you're really truly trying to bring into your life. The things that you are not liking, learn from it, live from it, heal from it, and let go. So there's like, set your intentions on what you have. They're telling me, whoever that is, and I think it's a Cancer that this is happening to. Set your intentions and write your goals down for that to happen. Because if you're working on that, you're allowing yourself to go through, doing a checklist on what you're doing. If you're allowing yourself to meditate, you say 5 things that you're grateful for in the morning, at night. Say beautiful things about yourself. Because whoever this is, I feel that, they look in the mirror and they think of themselves negatively. And it's like, a lot of times, when we have so many different things that has gone on with us, it can take a toll on you physically. And a lot of times we try to critique ourselves, and we speak negative towards ourselves, like, oh, my hips are too big, or something wrong with my leg, something like that. But you have to understand, you've been through hell and back. So if you come out looking perfect, you're a good one. But you have to understand, your body done went through a lot. Self-acceptance. I just said that you're going to be looking in the mirror, and then this happened. This is a little bit too weird. Because I stood here and said that. And I just flipped the card over, and it says self-acceptance. Loving yourself for who you are. Seeing that, yes, I did go through some different things, and it really hit me hard. Like, if you've been with me for a while, I told people, my depression, I went through emotional eating, and I gained a lot of weight from that, from my depression. But I had to allow myself to love myself and accept, girl, you've been through hell. You went through hell. It could have been a lot worse, but I had to be able to accept myself for who I truly am and love myself inside and out, you know. And if I knew there was something that I don't like, I can allow myself to change that, you know. Lift weights. I used to be very active on lifting weights, but around that time I was self-medicating through marijuana, so I wouldn't allow myself to feel the rawness. And there's a lot of things that right now there's a lot of people that are going through addiction because they don't want to feel that. They want to be able to smooth it over, and they're wanting you to be able to feel it raw. You have to. Okay, your self-acceptance is going to bring a soulmate in. You know, if you've been working on bringing a soulmate into your life, it's coming. But they're telling you to still keep working on yourself. You know, keep in your intention about the love that you're trying to bring into your life. And when you're doing that, you're placing that love into yourself so you can attract your mirror self. So it's just like when we're looking for love, that love has to instill in us first. You know, nobody can't make you happy. You know, if you're relying on somebody else to make you happy, you're never going to be happy. You have to be able to instill that into yourself. So they're telling you, you know, work on your self-acceptance, you know, allow yourself to know, yeah, nobody's perfect. You know, there'll be things that happen, but if you know you've been through some tremendous stuff, look at how far you came. You know, there's times I have to remind myself of that, you know, because I know my life done went a whole huge turnaround a million times, and it really changed me, but it changed me for the better, you know. So you have to be, you're opening up for a soulmate to come through. And for what I feel, it's like an Aries or Aquarius. It's somebody who is connected strongly to an Aquarius. And forgiveness. You know, a lot of times it's hard for us to forgive. You know, we go through a lot of things. We've been through a lot with people. You know, a lot of times we've been violated in many ways. And it made us jaded. It's hard for us to bring people close to us. You know, it's hard for us to be able to let go. But this is something we have to work on when we, you know, first we have to forgive ourselves, because we allow ourselves to beat ourselves up over what we should have done, what we could have done, what we didn't do, what we should have done. And these are the things you had to go through this. You're learning through the growth of your pain. You know, I have to remind myself of this all the time. You know, that's where the power comes in at, because they say when you can't forgive, that you're allowing that person to take your power, and that's weak. And they know you're not weak. You know, a strong person is able to forgive, but it takes time for that to happen. You know, it really does take time for it to happen, because it's like, you know, I can say, oh yeah, you can forgive that person. I don't know what your situations are, you know, unless I spiritually come in contact with you, but I don't know what your situations are. But, you know, a lot of times, even if that person is passed over, or y'all are not on speaking terms, allow yourself to start with the forgiveness within yourself. And a lot of times it's hard for us to accept to forgive, because it's like if somebody's really did some treacherous stuff to you, a lot of times we feel like it's hard for us to forgive, because we're condoning the things that they did. And it's like, no, it's not. You know, you're allowing yourself to have peace within your life, because this is something that you deserve. You deserve peace in your life. You don't allow that person to steal your joy. You don't allow a situation to steal your joy or your happiness. This is something that molded you to be so much stronger. But it was allowing you to see things from a different way, and it had to be a hurtful way for you to be able to get strong from that hurt. So forgiveness is on the plate for you. And trust in divine timing. You know, everything is happening for a reason. A lot of times we get angry because it's not on our pace, on our speed. And you trust in divine. Divine has our back. You know, and a lot of times it's hard to do that when you're doing so much clearing, and it just seems like things are moving snail slow. It feels like, you know, colder than molasses it's moving like colder than molasses on a freezing winter morning. You know, and if you already know what molasses is, they move slow. I think a snail can even beat the molasses. But, you know, they're saying trust in the time. You know, and it goes back, you know, and they keep on telling me about the baby. You know, there's a baby situation that somebody is really going through, and, you know, this is going on for you. I feel there's somebody with the name letter T that's trying to adopt a child, and it's going to work out. They say stay persistent. Even if it says no right now, that's the next opportunity. There's always something around something. There's something that somebody's really wanting to adopt a baby, and they're going to do that, but you have to trust in the timing for that. You know, when you're putting in work, and God sees that, universe sees that, and that's going to work out for you, because whoever this child is, that child is going to be grateful for you. That child is going to be your blessing. You know, it's like you feel like you needed that baby, but that baby needed you at the same time. So whoever this is, name starts with the T. And this blessing is going to come for you. So just trust in that. You know, divine is really, you know, really pulling some strings for you. So don't give up. You know, this baby is going to reciprocate those blessings. You know, you're bringing it into a healthy home, and just the nurturing that you're giving that baby, you're going to get that right back. So you had to be able to face a few things that you're going through right now, but it's going to turn in your favor. So whoever's trying to adopt a child, they're going to get it. They're going to get it, and it's going to be right when you least expect it. Or no, wait a minute, hold up. It's going to be somebody who probably gave their child up for adoption as well, and they feel very guilty about it. But because they just brought that in, woman, like, hey, don't put that down yet. There's a person that gave their child up for adoption. And I know for me being adopted, I've had a conversation like this with somebody. You know, don't feel guilty when you know you're trying to give the best for that child. You maybe couldn't afford a child at that time. You probably weren't mature, mentally or emotionally ready to be able to carry that. But you did the best that you could by placing that baby up for adoption, for that baby to have a better life that you couldn't give them. So don't ever feel ashamed of that. You know, if there's some kind of way you could get into contact with them, if it wasn't a closed adoption, or the parents is okay with you, you know, you seeing them, you know, allow you to see if you can be able to make that connection. You know, don't beat yourself up. You know, I think about my mom all the time, you know, and I knew it had to be hard for her to give me up for adoption, but I still have love for my mom. I'll never hold her or my father for any kind of guilt, because my parents was out of wedlock as a teenager. So, you know, I never had any hatred towards her or anything like that, or my father. But, you know, if you have given a child up for adoption and you know you did it on good intent, don't beat yourself up for that. You know, if you can be able to get in contact with them just to be their friend, or, you know, have a blessing where, you know, you can be that extra parent if that's something that you want to do. But just trust that process, and divine time is coming towards you in a big, huge way. And serenity. We all need peace. A lot of times, we're in our head and we think about the most chaotic things in our lives, or a lot of times we can build up fear on how the reality of our future can be. They always tell you the past is no longer existing and the future has not been here yet. It's all about in the present, you know. And we're all doing a cleansing where, you know, you're really seeing things from all angles. But allow yourself, anything that has gone into your life that really has broke you, is breaking you away from all the illusions, and it's, you know, it's building you up on truth. You know, we're all programmed in a certain way. We all feared certain things. We limited ourselves towards different things. But this is that time where you're making the decision for you. You know, you may have been altered in some kind of way, and it's like that truth really almost destroyed you. But this is that where that serenity is going to come in at, because it's like where the serenity is telling you this is where you're going to get it from when you get the you know, the retreat. So you're going to get that peace, but you have to be able to work on that, you know. And a lot of times it's hard for us to do that. We're spiritual beings in human suits, you know, spiritual beings with, you know, human experience. So it's kind of hard. We have those emotions. We're going through a spiritual growth. You know, there's a lot of different things that's going on. They're heightening up your gifts. And the more your gifts heighten, the more sensitive you get. You know, you've been purging out a lot. You're starting to get a lot of insight that's coming in. I see a lot of people that have headaches really bad. Like, they're very sensitive towards different things. It's like your hearing is heightened. It's like you can probably hear a mouse peeing on cotton right about now. And, you know, you're getting that spiritual growth through the life lessons that you've had, learning from, you know, mishaps, the failures, your mistakes, your impulses, allowing yourself to be open towards all that growth. Growth comes in so many different ways. You're allowing yourself to be brave, you know, even when you don't know what's going around the corner. You know, we fear what we don't understand. We fear what we don't know. But if universe is guiding us towards that, we're supposed to trust it. You know, at times it's hard to do that. At times, shoot, I already know. You know, but I'm working with it. New love's coming in. That spiritual growth is going to bring new love into your life. You know, whoever it is, and it could be a best friend. You know, this best friend could. Yeah, I mean, when you're based on new love, it should be your best friend. You know, a mother figure, father figure. You know, you're all combined into one. You know, you want somebody that it can be your cheerleader, or you can have somebody who's like your therapist. You can have somebody in your life that's like a preacher. You know, that like they're a jack of all trades. You know, you have this all wrapped into one, because this is something that, you know, you've gone through so many different damaging relationships, but you also had to learn from them too, and it's preparing you for that, because a lot of times we go through bad breakups, or we have bad connection with toxic people, or we made impulse decisions because we didn't want to heal, because a lot of times they tell you, well, all the time, it's best when you break up into that, you have to go through a grieving period. You know, never jump into one thing before you heal from the other, because you're taking that baggage from the last relationship and bringing it to that. And usually if you jump into one relationship from the other, you're going to have the same scenario but different person. You know, if you dealing with somebody and it was infidelity issues, you know, next thing you know, you didn't want to be by yourself, you want to be lonely, and you're jumping into another relationship, and then end up having infidelity issues again. So they're telling you, you know, that spiritual growth is going to bring about that, because when you're shedding all those old faucets, it's going to give you that new opportunity for a new love to come in. So they're telling you study. You know, if you've been looking at a lot of different things about your spiritual growth, there's a lot. I mean, if I can, you can't even count how many gifts that we have, but it's coming in moderation. We're in human suits; they can't come in there like they do if we were spiritual beings. But there's a lot of studying that they want you to. You know, if you're start hearing a new word, and you hear it frequently, like something like what, you know, just like when I found out I was a Heyoka, I'm like, what is that? You know, you calling me out my name or something? You know, I was mad as hell when I was up here listening to this Indian chief in my dreams. I thought me and him were about to fight, you know, but I kept on hearing that. And then when I looked it up and I seen the characteristics, it blew my mind. So it's like there's a lot of different gifts that we have when we're doing it natural. It's that we don't feel like it's a gift. It was something, you know, people, the gifts that you carry, there's a lot of people that got to study for that. And those are the things that you were born with. You know, I didn't know I had the gift of psychometry. You know, there'll be certain things I won't touch. I don't like it when people touch me. If anybody ever seen, what's that movie? I mean, that show off of Netflix. What is it? The Haunting of Hill House. The girl named Theo. You know, I'm just like, you know, I didn't like being touched. She always had to have gloves on and stuff like that, because she ended up, you know, she starts seeing different things that these people went through. But this is telling you to study, because you're going to find out more about yourself. Then you're going to be surprised on new things, because it's like venturing. If you just changed, like somebody who went to school and they really thought they wanted to have this career, and it wasn't something they really, you know, they lost interest on that. And it was just like whatever that was, it's going to collaborate. You're going to probably switch off, and it's like something you can collaborate with. Like you had that education there, now it was time for you to move on, and you're going to find something you truly enjoy. So this is going to prepare you for that. So for that study, you're finding out more things about yourself. um until that happens, you know, your celebration is going to come through, but you have to go through all these different things for that celebration to come through, because it's preparing you for that. But for these, you have to go through all these different things, and you have beautiful beginnings to starting. It's going to be a lot of celebration for you, and you deserve that. You know, that really deserve. This is a pretty good spread though, because it's like, you know, you're you know, the reverse on the prayers are answered. You know, a lot of times when it comes in reverse like that, it's because we probably don't believe. We don't believe that our prayers being answered. We carry more heavy weight on our fears and doubt and pessimism than we do within the universe. And a lot of times it's like that, especially when you're going through so many different things. It makes you discouraged. I don't know when you stop. Now, wow, nothing. Okay. And when you're being honest with yourself and seeing things through child's eyes while you're on your retreat, it'll create harmony into your life. And if you are wanting to have children and you're in that right vibration, you're in a good headspace, in a good place, this is going to happen. Don't force it. You know, it's something you feel like you have to force, and it's like you're wasting all this money. I feel somebody's doing IVF, and different things like that. You're taking all these hormones, and it's really taking a toll on your body. And they're telling you, allow this to come in through the right way, through God's way. Because if you're doing this, you're forcing an outcome that may not work for you. And they're telling you, allow these things to happen. Whoever this couple is, it's just like them not having a baby is really tearing up their lives. But you don't want to bring a baby in based on those situations. I've seen different people that want to have a child to trap a person, or they think that having a baby is going to make a wedding, not a wedding, but a marriage better. And that usually does more damage. But they're telling you you had to go through the healing process between yourself to yourself, as well as together in the union with your partner. And this is going to flow. And it's going to happen right when you least expect it. So be patient with that. A lot of times it's hard for us to do that. But make sure your intent, you know what you want. Because a lot of times we know what we want, we're working hard for it, but we stay focused on what we don't want. And that's what you're creating within yourself. And have to be able to accept yourself for who you are. What happened to you, how much your change changed you, and then you accept that, you accept yourself with all flaws and all, nobody's perfect. And when you accept that, that's when the soulmates kind of come in. And it can also come into the line of this marriage. Like, you're going to start, when you're clearing and healing and you're starting to do more things as a couple, you're going to see this was your soulmate the whole time. A lot of times we have to go through the worst to be able to see the best in people, for that to happen. But the timeline, it could be from a past life that y'all still had issues from the past life, because there's a lot of times we don't realize whatever we're struggling with right now, it was an issue with our soulmate or twin flame or anything like that. And they're telling you have to forgive them for the beginning. You have to forgive them from the beginning. Whatever happened at the beginning, this is coming up to you, because it's like the closer you get to your soulmate, it's like you're going to start seeing different past life sequence simulations, those sort of things. And they're showing you what issues you had this whole time that kept you apart in the first place. There was a lot of emotional clearing. There's a lot of people that came in your life and all of a sudden they bounced out because you finally cleared that karma with that person. You're clearing your slates right now, and this is going to help you grow. And you're going to see that person that you were with the whole time was that soulmate. Or it's going to be somebody who, had to go through a divorce. They had to heal. They had to be in a better headspace. And then the next thing you know, when you have healed and you have cleared all that out, is going to welcome that soulmate energy into your life. They're telling you trust in divine timing. You have to speak that peace into your life, because right now we're going through hailstorms. We're healing that enemy on the inside, so the exterior one cannot do any damage. Because you're going through, when you're through your serenity, you're going through a lot of a powerful spiritual growth. And this is something that we all needed. We had to be able to go through that, because it's just like all of us awakening the way it did. It was heavy. There was a lot of people that really went through some really tragic situations. And that's where universe is saying, okay, now it's time for them to know the truth. They're snatching veils off left and right. You're going through a lot of ascension, and there's a lot of us going through dark night of the soul. It's really making us face a lot of things that we choose to suppress. Certain things we suppress, and we didn't even know we suppressed them. But these things are coming up, where it's clearing your slate. So there's a lot of craziness going on. It may feel like a battlefield in your life, but it's clearing your slate. So there's nothing else that you can see is created as a sin. So you had to be able to go through that. And it's just like with that spiritual growth, it's going to bring in new love. It could be somebody who's married, and y'all had to go through the worst of the worst, and y'all went through this clearing together. Like, you had to go through it by yourself, but you had to do it together as well. You had to fix yourself. You had to fix whatever, what it is that you still held on to, so this doesn't corrupt your marriage. And it'll be a whole new mindset of a marriage. Or if you're going through something where you've been single for a long time, if you're allowing yourself to study upon the things that is creating your gift to be strengthened, or there's different things universe is wanting you to know about your life, and you're going through that spiritual growth, that cleansing, allowing yourself to love yourself, forgive others, allow yourself to let go of the old so the new can come in. The study's coming in. But before that happened, the celebration can't really take place until all those happens. But it's telling you to, seek the information in your dreams, take a journal, allowing yourself to do that. Your guardian angels are already there, but a lot of times you have to be able to seek them. You have to call on them, like archangels and stuff like that. When you're going through that, you need peace in your life, you need healing, you need to cut cords. They're there for that. And they're telling you to work on that. But face the music. You know, the music is telling you so much. If you've been looking for guides or you've been looking for some insight, it's coming to you from music, because there may be a song that's stuck in your head. You keep humming it. You're like, I cannot get the song out of my head, because that song is trying to tell you something. Always look at, you know, the way I get my information on why is a certain song sent to me, or why is there a certain movie sent to me. I always look for the subliminals. So whatever song it is, you know, look for the lyric meaning, and it could be telling you that. But this is a really good spread, y'all. I mean, blessings is coming everywhere. Like the last one, the fire sign, oh my God. It was intense. But, you know, everybody, this is all about, it's not good or bad. It's not, you know, it's not to be seen good or bad, but it's a part of that growth that we needed. We had to be able to face the bad so we can enter the good. You know, we can't embrace our light and neglect the darkness. That darkness brings you to the light. You have to be able to be balanced on that side. Accept the light, but you have to be able to accept the darkness too. So, you know, a lot of times it's hard for us to read these things, especially if it's in reverse. It's just that, I mean, basically that's just a cheat sheet for showing you this is where I need to work out at. Now, if I want to have a union or a celebration in my life, God is trying to tell me, universe, my deities, my, you know, my tribal ancestors, my ancestors, you know, family that's passed on, are showing me so many ways that my prayers are being answered, but I'm not focusing in on that. You know, I've had to tell myself that too. I get corrective criticism to myself at times. I have to listen to it as well. But, you know, when you're allowing yourself to know, you know, your prayers are being answered, it's just not in the way that you were seeking it. And it's just like when you be honest with yourself and you start seeing things in a different way, you know, and you're going to get that with that retreat. You have to go in solitude. You have to be isolated, you know, and a lot of times that can really suck. You know, it can really suck because you don't want to be by yourself, but that's where you're clearing the distractions. You can focus on yourself. And when you're focusing on yourself and not bringing in inside or outside distractions, it clears you so much faster. You know, this is something that you needed. This is something where you had to see the truth for really what it was, even if you don't like the truth of what you're seeing. It's bringing some kind of growth in your life that is very beneficial. So, you know, when you're doing that, the harmony is going to come in. You know, from the retreat, you're going to find so much peace in that, you know, in your life. You're going to see how much, you know, you held yourself back from things that we choose not to want to face, or we choose not to be honest with or accept. You know, you're going through that. You're going to get that peace. You know, you're bringing children into the world. You know, there's going to be somebody adopting a child that, you know, really didn't want to adopt a child, or something about that child that they're really drawn to. And it was like that could be like a twin flame. A twin flame is not always romantic. You know, it doesn't have to be. A lot of people get that misinterpreted, but it's not. You know, you have more than one twin flame. You have a twin flame on every level you're going to, that you had to match up with to see what y'all both had to learn from each other. And when you finally did, you moved on to the next one to get to your ultimate one. So it's like, but when you're allowing your intentions to be pure and you're following your intentions, good is going to come for you. You know, because a lot of times we can sit up here and say, we want this, we want that, but are we putting in the work for it? If we're not putting in the work for it, you can't see what's coming for you if you didn't put it in there. And accept yourself. You know, we're all going through different things. We may not look the same. We may not act the same, you know, but you have to be able to love yourself inside out. You know, your situations, you know, it could be really damning to you, really damage you, you know, but it's bringing good out of that bad situation. And it's going to open doors for a soulmate. For the soulmate to come in, you have to go through forgiveness, forgiving yourself, forgiving anybody that has wronged you. You know, this is not saying that you condone what they do, but this is be a piece for you. And, you know, you have to work on that every day. You know, there's a lot of people that are projecting. There's a lot of people that move through chaos, through their fears, you know, and that's something we can't, you know, we can't control that, but we can control how we adapt to it. You know, what we choose to accept. Those are the things that make you have love for yourself. Really do. If it don't, it'll eat you up. You know, you don't want that to happen. But for that, forgiveness is like trusting what divine time is telling you. When you allow yourself to be in a peaceful vibration, even through the other things, you're closing yourself off and leaving yourself to focus on what's truly important. And for that to get that way, you're going through a spiritual growth that is really heightened right now. There's a lot of gift switches that are popping up. You know, you're going through you know, so many different changes is making you very, you know, very sensitive towards a lot of things, and you're starting to see a lot more than you were able to do before because you're clearing. You're doing a very intense clearing, and for that new love, you're gonna bring that new love into your life, and a lot of times that new love is your love for yourself. Remember, if you don't quit, I'm sorry about that, y'all. My cat's over here crawling on different stuff, but yeah, it's like that new love is coming in. It could be for yourself as well, and you're studying more. You're seeing more about your gifts than you had, that you realize that you have. We have many, you know. And when you're allowing yourself to clear all these things, the celebration can come through. But remember to write in your journal about your dreams. What is it showing you? You know, your guardian angels is always there, and a lot of times they're sending you, you know, messages through your music. So I hope you were able to resonate with this. Y'all have so many beautiful things that's going on for you, and you truly deserve it. You know, especially if you've been going through a lot. You know, there's so much good that's coming from that because you went through a lot. And just for what you went through is going to be a bonus because you never gave up. Even when you wanted to, you couldn't. And they knew that. It's like you, universe and God and everybody, especially the ones that picked you to do this purpose. You're about to be compensated, and it's gonna be more than what you expected in your life. But keep putting in that work. You know, try new different creative things. You see, I'm doing this. I've never did tarot card reading over on the damn computer, but I really love that. You know, and just being able to add that towards what I'm doing right now is very beautiful to me. Um, and you just don't know. You have to allow yourself to take that chance. You know, so many things you want to be able to bring into your life, but if it was hard, it'll never be worth it. You had to be able to go through the worst and the worst because it's creating better for you. So I hope you were able to resonate with this, y'all. I'll leave all my contact information in the description box below. I hope you were able to enjoy this spread, this reading. You know, if it don't apply, let it fly. You know, this doesn't always resonate with everybody, but it'll be for the right one that needed to hear this in the first place. I'm gonna go ahead and allow you to see this spread. I'm trying to find different ways to do it so you can see, you know, the cards and stuff while I'm flipping them, because I don't want nobody to think I'm trying to rig up something or whatever like that, because I don't play with stuff like that. But yeah, I'm glad this connection came in through like this is, but it's very promising. You know, even if you have cards on reverse, and that can really suck, but this is showing you where the work needs to be at, and it's just giving you that chance, because it's like universe wants better for you. And if they can tell you where you need to work at, that's like a blessing in disguise. Sometimes we don't want to hear that, but then it'll get to that point when you see what they're talking about, you know, you're going to really appreciate that. Y'all know I am, because it was just, I've been seeing tarot cards for a long time. And I'm like, what y'all keep on trying to show me tarot cards for? And they wanted me to be able to bring this out. So, you know, you're putting your gifts to good use. You know, and I love to be able to do that. You know, just being able to just step out the comfort zone, because this was pretty good. I'm glad I did it. I was nervous, but I'm glad I did it. Because I'm like, yeah. But I hope y'all were able to resonate with this. And I'll go ahead and allow you to see the cards. I hope that was able to help you. Much love to y'all. God bless and all. You'll see me on my next video. Much love. Peace.